Spring Television. Ours it is.
Here are the top stories of the news. Gunmen kidnap Nasarawa State former Deputy Governor Professor Onje Giwado. Labour Party's Julius Abure says he remains the national chairman of the party. And on the foreign scene, gunmen killed 2 people in the occupied West Bank as tension between Israel and Palestinians intensify. Good afternoon and welcome to Spring News at 12 on Western Spring Television. My name is Emmanuel Ujadugele. We begin with security matters as a former Deputy Governor of Nasarawa State, Professor Onje Giwado, has been abducted. The State Police Public Relations Officer DSP Rahman Nansel confirmed the abduction in a press release this morning. He said the professor was whisked away this morning when gunmen broke into his residence in Gwagi village of Wamba local government area of the state. According to the police spokesman, a search has been initiated by police tactical team in collaboration with other security personnel to rescue the victim and hurt. To politics now, Julius Abure has rejected what he described as illegitimate executive members of the Labour Party, maintaining that he remains the national chairman of the party. The party's deputy national chairman, South Lamidia Papa, had yesterday said he has taken charge of the affairs of the party following a court order restraining Mr. Abure from parading himself as chairman of the party. But in a swift reaction, Mr. Abure faulted the move and accused the police of collaborating with the masterminds to gain entrance into the party's secretariat in Abuja. He drew attention to a court order obtained on Wednesday, ordering that he remains the national chairman of the party. He further accused the ruling All Progressives Congress APC of being behind the plot and called on President Muhammadu Buhari to call his party to order. Earlier, the embattled chairman revealed that suspected political thugs invaded the national headquarters of the party in Abuja.
Now, the Labour Party office is under attack. All the doors at the national headquarters have been broken and they have entered the office, purportedly trying to hold a meeting in the office. That meeting is not authorized by me, it's not authorized by the National Working Committee. The Labour Party is under serious attack, personally and individually, because of the case we have against the APC in court. All of this blackmail, all of this attack is tailored towards destroying the mandate that has been freely given to us by Nigerians. Nigerians must rise to the occasion, defend their country, defend democracy, and defend the Labour Party. Thank you.
Meanwhile, President Muhammadu Buhari says the 2023 elections demystified money politics, which means Nigerian voters won't be underrated anymore. The president made this known yesterday when he received the newly installed Emir of Tutse, Jigawa State Capital, Muhammad Amin Nuhu Sunusi, at the State House in Abuja. According to him, the failure of 10 governors in their senatorial quest is a testament that power truly belongs to the voters. He further stated that no one will underrate the Nigerian voter anymore, adding that politics will be difficult henceforth. In the meantime, former President Olusegun Obasanjo has said the incoming administration must work to facilitate national moral rearmament and reconciliation following the divisiveness occasioned by the just concluded general election. He said this had the potential to bring about healing and to assuage Nigerian youths who were angered by the shortcomings of the elections. Former President Obasanjo, who stated this while delivering a speech at a conference in Abuja, describes the election outcome as a sickening show of shame. He said governance in Nigeria now required thinking outside the box to rescue the nation in terms of its plunging economy and huge national debt burden. According to him, there must also be the political will and action, as well as administrative efforts to reform the public service and turn it into a capability-ready unit. Former President Obasanjo noted that in light of the challenges facing the country, he was now too old to stay quiet, stating that he would continue to voice concerns for the benefit of the nation. At the Kwara State chapter of the New Nigeria People's Party (NNPP) asserts the 3 newly appointed special aides by Governor Abdulrahman Abdulrazak are not its members. The state's chairman of the party, Malam Abdusalam Abdulrazak, made this known in a statement yesterday. The party chairman asserted that the appointees were not known to the state chapter of the party. He said the appointments were not routed through the party as there was no nomination or input from the party members and executives. It will be recalled that Governor Abdulrazak recently appointed 4 members of the NNPP as his special advisors as a redemption of his inclusive governance. Moving on, the Enugu State capital of the All Progressives Congress APC has announced the expulsion of a former governor of the state, Barrister Sullivan Chime. The party also suspended the former Senate President, Senator Ken Nnamani, and the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Mr. Geoffrey Onyama, amongst others. The disciplinary actions were announced yesterday by the State Secretary of the party, Mr. Robert Ungu, as he presented the report of a disciplinary committee. He said the report was ratified by an enlarged State Executive Committee meeting, adding that the expelled and suspended party members were accused of anti-party activities. He accused the suspended members of supporting the candidates of other political parties during the 2023 general elections. Meanwhile, in Rivers, the state chapter of the All Progressives Congress APC has alleged the abduction of the party's lawyer. The party spokesman Darlington Nwauju made the claim in a press conference in Port Harcourt yesterday. He disclosed that the lawyer Godswill DK was abducted yesterday evening inside the state headquarters of the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC). He further accused the state chapter of the People's Democratic Party (PDP) of kidnapping the lawyer as he went to take delivery of the certified true copies of the March 18th governorship polls documents. As of press time, the state government or the State Police Command is yet to confirm the alleged abduction. Now, staying with Rivers, Governor Nasir El-Rufai of Kaduna State has hailed his Rivers State counterpart Nyesom Wike for backing power rotation to southern Nigeria. Governor El-Rufai, who joined Governor Wike to commission the Eneka-Igbo-Eche Link Road in Obiakpo local government area of the state, said the people of the oil-rich South state voted quality over political sentiment. Governor El-Rufai thanked the people of the state for making the right choice of voting for Bola Tinubu.
I want, on behalf of our presidential candidate and our party, to thank you and the good people of Rivers State for making the right choice in voting for Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. It is the first time since the Fourth Republic started in 1999 that PDP was unable to get 25% in Rivers State. It shows that the people of Rivers can differentiate and they know when to vote for quality, and they voted quality over political sentiments. We want to thank you for providing that leadership, Governor Wike. This country belongs to all of us, and we have a duty to do all that it takes to make Nigeria an egalitarian, progressive.
Elsewhere, the defense headquarters says the calls for interim government are unconstitutional. Director of Defense Media Operations Musa Danmadame disclosed this yesterday in Abuja at a bi-weekly briefing on military operations across the country. He said those calling for an interim government are trying to be mischievous, adding that the Constitution does not provide for such a situation. He also said the military is ready to provide support in 2 states where elections were declared inconclusive. The Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) has fixed April 15th for the conduct of supplementary elections in Kebbi and Adamawa states. You're watching Spring News at 12 on Western Spring Television. We will be right back after this break.
was a Euro-American trade in slaves by which 12.5 million Africans were captured from their indigenous homelands and transported via the Atlantic to Europe and the Americas. The transatlantic slave, also known as triangular trade, was the worst form of man's inhumanity to man and the most costly in human life of all long-distance global migrations. Hundreds of Africans chained tightly to plank beds in the belly of slave ships in horrific conditions were transported via the Atlantic and stripped of all human dignity on arrival in Europe and America. It is the greatest crime the Caucasians committed against the black race. It is impossible to discuss the transatlantic slave trade without a copious reference to impoverishment and underdevelopment of Africa and its peoples. The triangular trade left the continent in ruins. Western Spring Television identifies transatlantic slave trade as a watershed event in history. Aminatu, the legendary Queen of Zazzau, is best known to historians as Queen Amina of Zaria, an old walled town and capital of the Hausa state of Zazzau. Amina was a great warrior and the first woman to rule the ancient kingdom of Zazzau. Her 34 years as queen witnessed an unprecedented expansion of Zazzau by conquests. Queen Amina of Zaria belongs to the class of Amazons by the might of her army and her strings of conquests. She opened Zaria to trans-border trade and was said to have initiated kola nut cultivation in the ancient kingdom. The Hausa Muslim figure was born in 1533 and died in 1610 at the age of 77 years. Folklores remember Aminatu, the Queen of Zazzau, as a brave, smart and talented leader whose giant statue now adorns the National Arts Theatre in Lagos, Nigeria, while many educational institutions bear her name. Western Spring Television identifies Queen Amina as a watershed character in history. Fumilayo Ransom Kuti was an educationist and advocate of women's rights. She was recognized for her vitriolic comments against colonial policy of taxation as it affected the Nigerian women. Bere, as fondly addressed by her women followers, Fumilayo championed the initiation of universal adult suffrage, which gave an unprecedented leeway for women to contest elective offices and power to exercise voting rights. Married to a foremost educationist and teacher, Israel Oladoto Ransom Kuti, the first president of Nigeria Union of Teachers, Fumilayo Ransom Kuti was the mother of children who inherited her spirit of activism. Olufela and Be Ololari, the former, a renowned musical legend. She was the first female student of Abeokuta Grammar School and the first female to own and drive a car in Nigeria. The award recipient of Member of Order of Nigeria MON and Lenin Peace Prize, was born 25th October 1900 and was killed on 13th April 1978 by rampaging road soldiers in Lagos. Western Spring Television identifies Fumilayo Ransom Kuti as a watershed character in history.
Welcome back. Our President Muhammadu Buhari has fired the Executive Secretary and Chief Executive Officer of the Nigeria Investment Promotion Commission (NIPC), Saratu Umar. The President's spokesman, Femi Adesina, made this known in a statement, noting that the move was with immediate effect. He disclosed that the President, in a directive to the Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Adeniyi Adebayo, also mandated the most senior director in the Commission to take over in the interim. Ms. Umar was first appointed in July 2014 by President Goodluck Jonathan's government, but was sacked in 2015. But on July 5, 2022, President Buhari reappointed her for a 5-year term. In other news, it appears cash flow in the country's monetary system has seen some improvements compared to the situation weeks ago, causing queues at most banks to reduce. Olayinka Ali visited some banks in Osogbo, the Osun State capital, and files in this report.
Cash flow in the monetary system has been improving during the week as the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, injects funds into commercial banks for over-the-counter transactions and for loading into the automated teller machines. Checks by a news team at strategic markets across Osogbo, Osun State capital, reviewed a gradual easing of the cash crisis as many banks have been dispensing cash both over the counter and through their ATMs. Crowds of customers at the gates of commercial banks shoving and pulling to access cash, and long queues at the ATMs have been reducing, though they have not disappeared. The CBN's acting director, corporate communications, Issa Abdulmuminin, confirmed on March 26 that the regulator had disbursed substantial amounts of money to the commercial banks for onward distribution to the public. An insider revealed that indeed banks have been receiving both the new and old notes from the CBN. Musa Adamu and Nafisat Salami, who walked out from the bank and got some cash, revealed that indeed the situation in the banking system has really improved compared to some months ago.
It's hell. Things are getting normal now compared to before. Now you can walk freely into the bank. Even inside the bank, other banks are paying like 100,000, like Fidelity here. Once you are into the bank, you withdraw 100,000 naira. But like before, you can't withdraw 20,000 naira. So I think now things are okay now compared to before.
Honestly, because almost every day we used to withdraw money from bank, even from ATM inside. They are dispensed every day.
Oriyomi Alabi, who spoke in Yoruba language, also confirmed that he was able to withdraw at the ATM gallery in less than 15 minutes of his arrival.
Tẹ́lẹ̀tẹ́lẹ̀ a máa wá níbí àlóòrù àní sunlé a máa wá torí pé káyọ̀ bá rówó ná a gba 5,000 a gba 2,000 so but báyìí nísìn kò sígbà tí ẹ dé báǹkì nísìn téèyàn ò ní rówó gbà ibi nísìn mo dé bí nísìn kò tí pé 15 minutes mo ti rówó gbà so èmi náà dẹ̀ tó ti padà lọ sílé báyìí.
However, Oluwatobiloba Osage, who is a POS merchant, lamented that the amount he gets at the bank is not enough to run his business.
From last week, this week Monday, at least we received good amounts of cash. But aside from on Monday, down Tuesday down to today, Thursday, bank always pay us 5,000 naira. And someone like me that I'm a POS merchant, you can't expect me to be using 5,000 to transact business. So that's the latest now.
CBN had in October 2022 announced it would be redesigning the 200 naira, 500 naira, and 1,000 naira note. One of the reasons the CBN gave for its naira redesign decision was